The Ad Hoc Committee investigating serious corruption allegations within the South African Police Service made by Lieutenant General Mkhananzi is wrapping up evidence hearings as of March this year. This week, police top brass Lieutenant General Mkhananzi and National Commissioner General Fannie Masemola are set to return to the committee to respond to several allegations leveled against them. Suspended police officer Mkhananzi has made explosive allegations against KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Mkhananzi. He claimed he was tortured by the SAPS members including Mkhananzi. Mlocho made this claim while testifying before the Ad Hoc Committee probing allegations of police corruption on Friday. Now, criminologist Professor Khulufelo Rakubu joins us now for more on this. Prof, a very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us. Welcome. Now, the South African Police Service is once again facing serious corruption allegations from a criminology perspective. Prof, just how significant is this parliamentary inquiry for the credibility of the country's policing system?
It's a very significant committee because we then, as the country, get to understand the magnitude of issues pertaining to policing. We got to understand the nature of infiltration through these committees. We got to understand power of association and lack of responses in many cases through these committees. And it serves as an accountability mechanism largely to assist the country understand all the issues pertaining to allegations around corruption, criminal conduct, and the political interference with SAPS leadership. So they are very critical, but it was one critical week last week with all these allegations against whistleblowers, particularly General Mkhananzi and General Masemola. So that provided us an opportunity to conduct a criminological assessment, because when such significant allegations are then made, one then has to look into multiple aspects, including your truthfulness, the complicity of these allegations, and the strategic dimension of this allegation. So we were taken back to task to then assess all these allegations to make an understanding of where and how they came about, and also look into the credibility of witnesses that are making these allegations, because at the end of the day, the committees then must have a direction amidst all these allegations.
Fair enough, Prof. But when a police service faces allegations of corruption and abuse from within its own ranks, what does that tell us about internal accountability mechanisms within the organization?
It tells a lot, but then one has to understand how these allegations came about, because with this kind of allegations, they cannot be taken at face value. They require corroboration. And again, when you hear such allegations, suspended officials often have mixed credibility, both insider knowledge and also your potential bias. So when you receive such, or when you hear of such, then you look into the complicity, how then they complicate the accountability processes, because now the committee faces dual challenge, whereby they have a mammoth task to separate genuine misconduct from factional retaliation. And again, they must then analyze whether this is it a strategy, a frustration strategy or not, or are they playing factional politics or not. That is why I'm saying they do have a mammoth task to then separate genuine misconduct or even a genuine allegation. And again, this can also be, these possible testimonies can then also be looked into as a broader strategy to complicate proceedings against Masemola and Mkhananzi by introducing explosive allegations, because now a shift is from corruption inquiries to then personal misconduct claim. And this now creates what we call a smoke screen effect, where now the committee must investigate torture and unlawful rape, which also can delay or dilute focus of systemic corruption, right? And in criminological terms, this reflects what we call conflict criminology, where competing factions within an institution weaponize allegations to weaken rivals. South Africans obviously will be interested in understanding how is then Mkhananzi accused of this? So now the institution, there's also weaponization. This can be, it has elements of weaponization. And again, witness may be aligned with a particular political or institutional faction that is opposed to SAPS, the current SAPS leadership, using testimonies as leverage. So now, that is why I'm saying the committee has a mammoth task then to separate or differentiate the two.
And perhaps one of the key figures involved is Mandlanga Commission, who has both made allegations and now faces accusations himself. Just how unusual is it, for such senior police leaders to become central figures in competing claims of wrongdoing?
Remember, they made explosive allegations.
Yes.
Chronologically, this is expected as a pushback. It can be a witness pushback or an institutional pushback. So then it is expected because, like I said, the competing factions within SAPS, because now we've got to understand through commissions, through committees that they are indeed competing factions, right, within the SAPS. So now it becomes very, very difficult, but expected that there will be this kind of pushbacks. Remember, immediately after the allegations made by General Mkhananzi, there were then stories here and there where then he was accused of taking bribes. We heard of a Louis Vuitton bag that was never proven to be true. So now the committee must then look into these allegations extensively. And remember, when you come with allegations of torture, that then must be corroborated by medical statements, right? That must then be corroborated through your consistent testimony or independent witnesses.
We're out of time, unfortunately, Prof. But do the parliamentary inquiries typically lead to criminal prosecutions, disciplinary action, or even structural reforms, or do they sometimes fade without tangible outcomes? And in the same breath, I mean, just given the political sensitivity around policing in South Africa, just how insulated are these investigations from political influence or even pressure?
Committees can make recommendations. They can advise on the way forward. They can influence a reform. They can recommend and assist with the road to prosecution. Just like your commissions, they are not a final say, and we got to understand that they do make recommendations are made once there is verifiable evidence. So we're hoping with political will and political support that these committees or commissions will not suffer the usual fate.
All right, Prof, great chatting to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, as the parliamentary inquiry into corruption allegations within the South African Police Service approaches the end of its evidence hearings, attention now turns to the responses expected from senior police leadership. And as Professor Khulufelo Rakubu notes, the outcome of this process could have far-reaching implications for public trust in policing and the broader fight against corruption in South Africa.